Okay, Ty and I are going to make some not so homemade chili this morning. Normally I mix my own spices, but I've never used this before. This is Adolph's. They make meat tenderizers and other spices. And I've got 2 packages of this that we're going to make this chili seasoning mix. And normally what I do is I have my own spices. I go down to Sam's, which is like Costco's, and I've got my chili powder, my pepper, my garlic powder, and also the chopped onions. These chopped onions, the reason I use them is it's just messy with onions and everything, and I don't have to get the onion smell all over, but you get the same results from these. And also another spice that I've run out of is called, I guess you pronounce it cumin, C-U-M-I-N, and I use that also. And I'll probably give Ty a chili recipe. But some of these will go bad, especially like your chili powder. These others will last forever, but if you don't do a lot of cooking, it's probably just easier to do the chili seasoning. Now, the reason I buy all the spices is a lot of times I feed the people at work, and so it's not uncommon for me to make enough chili for 20 or 30 people, and so that's why I mix my own most of the time. But this is a simple, easy way to do. I have 2 pounds of ground chuck here. I'm going to cook the ground chuck and in my skillet, and then good thing about chili, you can do chili any way you like it. I'll put everything in here. I've got 2 cans of chunky tomatoes, chili style Del Monte's, that I'll throw in here, and then I'll throw it's a Texas brand ranch style beans, chili beans, which are real good. And what I like about chili, you can do chili to your taste. If you like bell peppers, you can chop up your bell peppers and put in there, or jalapeno peppers, just whatever. If you like a lot of onions, you can chop your onions up and everything, or garlic, and just make it any way you like. So it's a good thing. Anybody can cook chili. You get your basic recipe and then work from that. This is the easy way to do it. It'll take us about probably less than 30 minutes to make enough chili to, feed, probably, I'd say maybe this will be about 6 to 8 servings. And what I'll probably do is, after I cook it, I'll bring it up to a boil, and then I'll let it simmer. I'll turn it immediately down, let it simmer, and then we're going to go run some errands this afternoon, go to the museum and see some art and stuff. And so we can serve it any time. I like chili basically the next day. I think it's best. So we'll probably do something else for dinner tonight, and then probably have the chili for lunch tomorrow, or maybe even the evening meal. Anyway, I'm going to get started now on the skillet. So I'll just I use electric because it's just easier. And so I just kind of chunk it up like you would if you was making any kind of ground meat dish. So I've got my coffee cup in the way there. And just hand chop it up, dice it up, and put it in my chili. But one of the reasons I like the ground roast is after it sets up a while, it'll really soaks the spices up real nice, and so after it sets about a day, you get a full flavor out of it, and it's pretty consistent. If you use the roast, I found that depending on how long it sets up, the flavor's not real consistent. So this is the Dutch oven I was speaking of that I'll be doing my chili in. So I tilt my pan where all the grease is at the bottom, and then, like I said, I don't really strain it or anything, but it'll have a little bit of grease in. A lot of people think that the grease is necessary for the flavor. I'm not sure of it, but I'll leave a little bit in here. Waste too much of the meat. I'll waste a little bit when I pour up the grease. didn't really look at the directions on the ADOS, but what I'll do is I'll put water in there because most of them require that you put a little water in with the seasoning. So I'll put water in. I normally use scissors to cut them open with, so I have 2 bags of Adolphs here. Oops, I didn't cut it for enough down. So anyway, put it down. The contents in the pan, and turn it all the way up. Bring it to a boil. Stir the Adolphs in, make sure it gets equally distributed for right now. There you can see what I'll do is I'll bring it up to a boil, and then I will start putting my other ingredients in. I'll put a little bit more water in there. Okay, I've got it on high right now. And I'm going to turn it down to about medium and put my ingredients in. I've got, that I showed you earlier, putting the Del Monte chili style tomatoes in. I also use these, that's where I'll put my grease, and then when it cools down I'll set it in my garbage and put it out with the garbage. Right now I'm adding 2 cans of the tomatoes, and then I'm adding 1 can of my ranch style beans, and I'll probably add a little bit more water and maybe a little bit more tomato. I like a little bit of the tomato taste. I'm crazy about tomato taste, so, and like I said, I really hadn't had any complaints about it. And so I'll let that simmer probably for about 20 or 30 minutes, and I'll put it in the refrigerator, and we'll either, I think we're probably going to have ribeyes tonight for dinner, and so we'll have probably have this for lunch tomorrow. Good Super Bowl, ball games stuff. It goes good with anything. If somebody's drinking alcohol, beer or anything, it goes good with beer or margaritas or something. And I'll get Ty to give a report on how this tastes later, but I'm not sure he'll tell the truth. I'm going to go ahead and throw some onions in there while it's simmering, and I'll use the dried chopped onions. So you have to be a little bit careful with these because they're pretty concentrated, so you may put in what you think is a little onions and it may be a whole onion or something, so you need to be careful when you're using these concentrated onions. Throw a pinch of garlic in there, kind of give it a little garlic flavor. Not a whole lot, but a little. One thing about chili, you can throw whatever you want in there. I'll put a little black pepper in. Not too much, but a little pepper. And sometimes I'll throw a little Louisiana hot sauce. My wife doesn't like it, so I try to make my chili more of a mild chili. And the reason I make it mild is normally when I serve it, I'll have red hot Louisiana hot sauce, Tabasco, or one of those kind of things, and then they can, the people can, add their own heat to it, make it as hot as they want. I make it more mild. I may throw a jalapeno in there or a bell pepper in, but that's about it. Now, if I was making it Tex-Mex style, I would probably put about chop up about 3 or 4 jalapenos and throw in there, and then that would make it give it a lot of jalapeno flavor, which I love myself personally, but it may be just a little bit hot for most people. And it looks like I'll probably end up adding one more can of tomatoes to it. You can see the consistency of the chili. Mm-hmm. And I'll probably go with one more can of tomatoes with that. And that's the chili for the day. I'll be out of your way so you can just set it any way you want it. I'm just going to dump some tomatoes, and I will.
Okay, go ahead.
I just added another can of tomatoes in to make it a little bit, liquefy it just a little bit more and give it a little bit more tomato. Like I said, I love tomatoes. And I added some more water also, and then it'll cook down some. But if at any time that I'm sure a lot of people know this and a lot of people don't, but what I do if I get it a little bit too runny, I will get me a little saucepan. I'll put a little flour and water in there, and then I'll mix the flour and water together, and then I'll pour it in, and that'll make it, that'll solidify it more. And I'm sure most of the cooks out there know that. And it won't hurt the flavor at all. Okay, I'm gonna let it simmer for about 20 more minutes, and then we'll be through. And I'll put it in the refrigerator. Pour my grease up now.